Hey there, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video tutorial, we will discuss all the chart types available in a WordPress chart builder plugin. Chart builder plugin suggests more than 20 chart types you can use on your WordPress website. In this video, we will discuss all the chart types with their use cases. So, let's begin. As already mentioned, the WordPress Chart Builder plugin offers more than 20 chart types you can use on your WordPress websites. So let's discuss each of the chart type one by one for your reference. At first, we will show you how the chart looks like on the website, and then we will show you how to create that kind of chart. So let's start. The first chart type we are going to discuss is the line chart. Line charts are great for showing trends over time, or you can show progression between different categories. Line charts are perfect for visualizing, for example, temperature changes through the year or sales figures month by month. That means line charts show data over time. Here is the line chart created by our Chart Builder plugin. Let's create this chart on a dashboard so that you can learn how to use it. To create line charts for your website, we need to head to our dashboard and activate the Chart Builder plugin. As you can see, I have already installed and activated the Chart Builder plugin so as not to waste your time. So let's create line chart together. For that, we click on the Add New button and choose the line chart. Click on the Next button, and here you can see our line chart settings. At first, we need to give a title to our chart. For example, we can name it Line Chart. Once we are done with the title, we can go further with the settings configuration of the chart. And the first tab we are going to discuss is the Source tab. By saying source, we mean where the data of your chart comes from. Let's quickly check the sources the plugin offers for your information. The first one is the import data from file. You are free to choose what kind of data you would like to upload here. All you need to do is to choose the file type as CSV. You can import that file here. The next one is connect to Google Sheets. Here you need to activate the Google integration and import the data of your Google Sheet into the chart. To activate the Google integrations, go to the General Settings page and fill in the necessary fields, then click on the Connect button. Here you can see the detailed integration guide, so you can use it. The next one is Connect to Database. Here you need to insert the database query, and the appropriate information from your database will be displayed in the chart. In our case, we will use the manual data. That means we can insert the data we want to display in a chart manually. In our case, we choose the manual data, and for now we can just measure the Western state population. For that, we need to have two columns, one for the year and the second one for the population. Please note that the data provided here is not correct. This is just for the example so that you can learn how to use the feature. So let's check this. And here we have random numbers. Let's check this on the chart. We click on the preview button. That's it. Please note that you can add as many rows and as many columns you prefer. And with the advanced preview button, you can see the chart even before publishing it on your website. So let's check what settings, styles, and line settings the plugin offers us. Now we can head to the Settings tab, where we can see lots of sections with their advanced features. The first one is the General Settings. Here we can see many different options like chart status, chart description, author, chart title, chart description, interactivity, maximized view. You can set the chart status either active, or you can save the chart as a draft. please note that in case of the draft status, the chart will not be displayed anywhere on your website. With the second option, you can provide a short description about the chart, for example, the purpose of the line chart or the data you can use for the line chart, etc. Here you can specify the author of the chart or you can skip it. You can specify whether you want to display the chart title and the chart description or not. Then you can tick or untick the toggle for interactivity. By this, you can decide if the chart shows events based on user actions or respondents to user interaction. With the maximize view, you can maximize your desired part of the chart like this. Then we can go to the tooltip section. Here again, there are different settings. Here we can decide when exactly we want to display the results on a chart, for example, while hovering, when selected, or we can just disable this option. Here we can tick the color code so that the color will be displayed when clicking anywhere on the chart, for example, like this. Then we can specify the text color, the font size. We can make the tooltip text either italic or bold, and both of them. For example, like this, we can set it as this one. And here we can see that the tooltip color has been changed. Then we can go to the legend part. A chart legend is like a map key for your graph or a chart. Here we can configure its position, alignment, font color, font size, and again, whether it will be displayed italic or bold. For example, like this. As we don't need this part, we can just skip it. The next section is horizontal axis settings. You can see there are lots of advanced features and functionalities here, which are very specific to the use case you have for the chart. What is most important here is that the plugin offers great variety of features you can use to customize your charts based on your preferences. Here you can specify the axis label, font size, italic, bold, text position, reverse direction. Let me tell you the meaning of this reverse direction option. This option shows the direction in which the values grow along the horizontal axis. By default, low values are displayed on the left side and high values on the right side, as you can see here. We can enable this toggle to see the reverse view. We can disable this toggle. Also, we can display the text as lented or not. If it is true, it is lented. If it's false, it's horizontal. Here we can choose the format string for numeric axis labels, non-decimal, scientific, currency, percent, short, long. Here we can specify the max and min values, gridliness count, gridliness color, and of course we can specify the label interval. The label interval shows how many horizontal axis labels to show. Here 1 means show every label, 2 means show every other label, and so on. Then we can go to the vertical axis settings, which is the same but for this part already. We can show the vertical axis outside or inside the chart, or we can just hide it. As the settings are the same as the horizontal axis, we can go further for the chart animation. By ticking this toggle, we enable the chart animation. And here we can configure some settings related to the chart animation. Next wonderful feature is the live chart feature. If we tick this option, the chart data will be dynamically updated on the front end. We tick it. That means the chart data will be periodically updated, for example, once in 3 seconds, etc. And here we need to specify the live chart interval. With the help of the live chart interval feature, we can specify the time intervals to update the chart on the front end. For example, again, as mentioned, once in 3 seconds. As you can see, the option works in milliseconds. And the last section of this tab is the front-end actions. Here we can choose what actions the user can perform on the front end with the chart. The user can print the chart data, can export the data in Excel and CSV file formats. The user can copy the chart data and the user can download the chart as an image. As we are done with the Settings tab, we can go to the Styles tab. Here we can see lots of wonderful and advanced features with the help of which you can customize the styling of your chart in a way you prefer. As you can see, you can specify the width of your chart, for example, like this. Also, you can tick the responsive width toggle, with the help of which the chart will have 100% width as a fixed one. And in this case, the width option value will be ignored. You can choose the position of the chart, the height of the chart. For example, we can set 500. Also, we can choose the font size. We can have different background color for the chart. Also, we can have a transparent background for it. And you can make some configurations for the border. Then comes the chart area section. We can set a background color for the chart area, for example, like this one. Also, we can specify the border width, for example, like this. We can specify the border color, we can set a lighter one. And with these options, we can configure the margins, left, right, top, and bottom. Here comes the title section. Here we can make some changes connected to the chart title. We can specify its color, font size, we can make it bold, italic. Also, we can change the gap and the position of the title. The last one is the description. As we already mentioned, you can provide a short description about your chart. And here with the settings, you can configure the styling of your description. And the last tab we are going to discuss is the line settings. Again, we can find different advanced features related to the chart. We will not discuss each of these points one by one, as the usage for these options are different based on the preferences of the people and the use case they have for the charts. We can just mention the ones that are more general to almost all people using the charts. For example, we can specify the chart line width. For example, we can set it as 4. It is more visible than with a 2 value. We can choose the line curve type like straight and curved. We will choose the straight one. Also, we can rotate our chart vertically like this, but we will not do this for this time. For example, we can set different colors for each row like this. As you can see, the plugin gives all the wonderful and advanced functionalities you will need to create an advanced chart for your WordPress website. All we need to do is to save the changes to see our chart on the front end. To display our chart on the front end, we just need to copy the shortcode, then head to the posts page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode of our chart into the block. Give a title to our post. Then see our chart on the front end. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. As you can see, we can export the chart data into CSV and Excel. We can copy the chart data, print the chart data, and download the chart as an image. That's all. We can pass on to the next chart type. The next chart type we are going to discuss is the bar chart. Bar charts are used to compare different categories or groups. They provide a visual representation of the relationships between different data points. Let's create a bar chart together to see how it works. For that, we head to our dashboard and click on the Add New button. Then choose the bar chart type and click on the Next button. As you can see, there are different sources to create a bar chart like You can import data from file, you can connect it to the Google Sheets, connect to database, but in our case we will choose the manual data. You can find the detailed description of each source for the line chart part of this video. For the bar chart, we can choose the favorite type of movie theme topic. We will have two columns here, for example, the type of the movie and of course the population watching it. Let's create this together. Then we click on the preview button to see the changes right on the dashboard. As we are done with the sources, we can go to the settings tab. Here again, the settings are the same as in case of the line chart. The plugin offers different options like general settings, tooltip, legend, horizontal axis settings, vertical axis settings, chart animation, live chart, front-end actions. Again, you will find the detailed description of each section like the settings, styles in the line chart part of this video. The difference between the bar chart and the line chart is the bar settings tab, which is added to only for the bar chart type. If you tick the stacked feature, the chart will be displayed in the proportional contribution of individual data points in comparison to a total. Then comes the focus target feature. There are two ways you can focus the data table elements, by single data and group data. Also, you can choose the transparency of data points, where 1.0 means completely opaque and 0.0 fully transparent. Also, we can choose the bars width. For example, we can set it like this. You can specify the bars width both in percentages and by pixels. Then comes the series settings and row settings tabs. You can set different colors for each row. For example, like this. Let's see the chart on the front end. To display the chart on the front end, firstly we need to save the changes. With the next step, we need to copy the shortcode of the chart. Then go to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. Also, we can give a title to our post, for example, like this. As you can see, for example, you can export the chart into the CSV file format, you can print the chart, or you can download the chart as an image, for example, like this. As we are done with the bar chart, we can pass on to the next chart type. The next chart type we are going to discuss is the pie chart. Pie charts are useful for showing the composition or distribution of a whole. They are great for displaying percentages or proportions. For example, demographic distribution in a population, or market share among competitors, or a budget allocation in a project, and many other use cases. Let's create a pie chart together to see how it works. So we are on our dashboard, and to create a pie chart, we need to click on the Add New button. Then choose the pie chart and click on the Next button. Here is our default pie chart displayed by the system. Here again, we will see the sources, settings, and styles. These three tabs are general for all our chart types. And we have discussed all of the settings and styles for the line chart type. To save your time, we are not going to discuss each of the settings and styles options for each chart type separately. You can find the detailed information for the line chart type of this video. For this chart type as well, we will choose the manual data. That means we will create a chart based on the information we have, and we will add the data manually. For example, we can choose the favorite beverage topic for this pie chart. So we can name our chart Favorite Beverage Chart. Here we will write the name of the beverage and of course the population. That means the number of people who chooses, for example, beer as a beverage. So we click on a preview button to see the changes directly on the chart. As we already mentioned, both the settings and the styles tabs are the same for all chart tabs. We will just mention that the settings tab includes general settings, tooltip, legend, and live chart sections. Also, in the styles tab, you can find different customization settings for the chart, chart area, chart title, and chart description. As to the pie chart settings, it is specific to only pie chart type. Here we can choose the degree of chart rotation, for example, like this. Also, we can reverse the categories like this. We can choose the slice border color, for example, like this. Here we can choose how to display the slice text. We can choose the percentage, quantitative value, name, or we can just disable this. And here we can configure some settings related to the chart data grouping, limit, label, and color. Then we can go to the slices settings. Here we can choose different colors for each slice. For example, we can change it to this one. Then with the offset feature, we can specify how far to separate the slice from the rest of the pie. And we can choose the text color. For example, we can set like this. We can do the same for all the slices. Don't forget to save the chart to see the updates on it. To display our chart on the front end, we copy the shortcut of our chart, then go to the posts page, add a new post, and insert the shortcut into the block. Then we can give a name to our post and see the changes on the front end. As we are done with the pie chart, we can go on further. The next advanced chart type the Chart Builder plugin offers is the column chart. Column charts are also known as vertical bar charts, and they serve almost the same purpose as the bar charts. The main purpose of bar charts is to compare categories or groups, and the only difference between the bar charts and column charts is their orientation. In case of the column charts, the data is displayed vertically, and in case of the bar charts, the data is displayed horizontally. You can use the column charts, for example, if you want to compare monthly sales performance of different products. Let's create a column chart together to see how it works. To create a column chart, we go to the Chart Builder plugin and click on the Add New button. Here we need to choose the column chart type and click on the Next button. As we already mentioned, we discussed both of these three sections together for the line chart type. To save your time, we're not going to discuss each of these sections one by one. You can find the detailed information about these three sections for the line chart part of this video. In our case, we will choose the manual data source to create a chart. With this column chart, we will measure the monthly sales. Let's create one together. We have written random numbers just to check how the column chart works. To see the changes, we click on the preview button. As we already discussed settings and the styles tabs, we will just show you what data each tab includes: general settings, tooltip settings, legend settings, horizontal axis and vertical axis settings. Then comes the chart animation, live chart, and front-end actions. And in the styles tab, you can find width option for the chart. For example, we can set it like this. We can set a height for it. We can change the background color or set a transparent background, and many more. As to the column settings tab, it is specific to only the column chart type, so we will discuss it. If the stacked option is enabled, the chart will be displayed in a proportional contribution of individual data points in comparison to a total. Then comes the focus target option, with the help of which you can focus the data table elements by single data or by group data. Here with the opacity feature you can choose the transparency of data points, and with the bars width option you can choose the width of the bars. For example, we can set it like this. Then comes the series settings and row settings features. We can set a different color for each row, each column. For example, like this. Let's save the changes to see our chart on the front end. After saving the changes, we just need to copy the shortcode, then go to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. In this case, it can be column chart. Here is our column chart displayed on the front end. As you can see, the chart displays sales for each month one by one. Also, as you can see, we can export the chart data into CSV and Excel file formats. We can copy the chart data, print it, or download the chart as an image. As we are done with the column chart, we can pass on to the next chart type. The next advanced chart type we are going to discuss is the donut chart. This chart type is used to visualize the proportion of individual components relative to the whole. Donut charts are similar to pie charts, but with the hole in the center, like displayed in this one. With the donut charts, for example, we can display the distribution of expenses in a budget, or in our case, land use in Germany. Let's check how to create a donut chart on the dashboard. To create a donut chart, we click on the Add New button. Then choose the donut and click on the Next button. As you can see, there are different sources to display the data, like import data from file, Google Sheets, connect to database, and manual data. In our case, we will choose the manual data. You can find the detailed information about the source, settings, and styles tabs represented for the line chart type in this video tutorial. Now we need to manually insert the data. And here is the number of people using the land for this or that particular purpose. So we click on the preview button to see the changes right on the dashboard. Also, we can give a title to our chart, for example, like this. And we can go to the settings tab. We already discussed both the settings and styles tabs for the line chart type. So you can go to the first part of the video to see the detailed information about these tabs. We will just mention the general settings tab, the tooltip tab, legend, live chart, and legend. In the styles tab, we can find different settings for the chart. For example, the width. We can set a higher width, responsive width, with the help of which the chart will have 100% fixed width, and the system will ignore the value you write for the width. Also, you can see that we can add height, font size, background color, transparent background. We can configure the border of the chart. Also, we can make some changes for the chart area. We can set the margins. We can write the chart title. And we can configure the settings of the chart title, like we can give a color for it, bold, italic features. Also, we can configure the settings of the description, so we can have another description color. We can specify the font size of the description, etc. Now we can go to the donut settings tab, which is typical to only the donut chart type. Here we can specify the degree of chart rotation, for example, like this. We can reverse the categories, like this. We can choose the slice border color, for example, like this. We can choose how to display the text, for example, by percentage, by quantitative value, or the name. we will choose percentage. Also, we can give some configurations for the data grouping like limit, label, color. Also, we can change the whole size of the donut. For example, we can set it like this, or we can make it smaller. Then we can head to the slices settings. What is great about the plugin is that we can have different color for each slice. For example, we can choose lighter color for this. For agriculture, we can choose again lighter color. We can choose the forest color to the darker one. And like this. So we can save the chart to update the data. As we are done with the settings configuration of the donut chart, we can copy the shortcode and paste it to our desired page or a post. So we copy the shortcode, head to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. Also, we can give a title to our post, for example, like this. Here is our donut chart. As you can see, when hovering here, you can see the chart slices for the donut chart. As we are done with the donut chart as well, we can go further. The next chart type offered by the WordPress Chart Builder plugin is the histogram. Histograms are like bar charts, but instead of comparing categories, they show the distribution of numbers. For example, if you want to see how many people fall into different age groups in a population, a histogram can show you that easily. For example, you can see how many people are for the age 0 to 10 years and 11 to 12 years and so on. Let's create a histogram chart together. For that, we go to our dashboard, Chart Builder plugin, and click on the Add New button. Then choose the histogram and click on the Next button. Here you can see different sources for this chart type. Import data from file, connect to Google Sheets, connect to database, and manual data. Again, for the histogram chart type, we choose the manual data so as not to waste your time. But you can find the detailed information about the source, settings, and style steps for the line chart type in this video. So here we need to write the age, then specify the range, for example 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 50, for example, and then 51 to 70, for example. Then we can specify the number of people voting for each of these age. Then we need to click on the preview button to see the changes. Here you can see our histogram chart displaying each of the age with the population. As we are done with the sources, we can go to the settings tab. We just want to mention the general settings section, tooltip, legend, horizontal axis settings, vertical axis settings, and live chart features. Also, from the styles tab, we can specify the width of the chart, for example, like this. Then the height. We can specify the font size, background color, we can give a transparent background. Also, we can configure the borders. We can also make some configurations for the particular chart area. In this case, we can configure the margins. Also, we can configure the chart title settings and description settings. And we will discuss the histogram settings tab, which is specific to only the histogram chart type. Here we can specify the transparency of data points, and of course we can specify the bar's width by pixels or by points. As we are done with the settings configurations, we can save our chart. To see our histogram chart on the front end, we need to copy the shortcode, then head to the post page, click on the Add New Post button, then insert the shortcode into the block. Also, we can name our post, like for example, age histogram chart. Then save the changes to see our histogram chart on the front end. Here it is. As you can see, each age is displayed with its population on the front end. So we can pass on to the next chart type. The next advanced chart type offered by the Chart Builder plugin is the Geo Chart. It shows data on a map. Each area, like a country or state, is colored or shaded based on the data it represents. For example, you could see a map where darker colors show areas with more people and lighter colors show areas with fewer people. Let's create a GeoChart together to see how it works. To create a GeoChart, we go to the Chart Builder plugin and click on the Add New button. Then choose the GeoChart and click on the Next button. Here you can see our chart. As you can see, only 5 countries are chosen by default, so we can hover to see the population there. We will add the countries to see the changes on the chart. Moreover, you can insert a URL here for each country. By clicking on the particular chart area, the user will be redirected to the URL you mentioned here. So we can tick the toggle and insert the URL here. And we can click on the preview button to see the changes on the chart. As you can see, the chart has been updated with the countries we mentioned here. For this chart type, we have chosen the manual data, but you can choose any source you prefer. You can learn more about the source, settings, and styles tabs by checking the first part of the video about the line chart type of the plugin. So, as we are done with the sources, we can go to the settings tab. Here we can see some settings about the chart, chart description, chart status. We can check the tooltip section, where we can find some settings related to the tooltips. Also, you can enable the live chart feature. Then we can go to the styles tab, where we can find lots of wonderful features to customize your chart based on your preferences. You can add a width, position, height for the chart. Also, you can change the font size, add a background color, make the background as transparent, and you can configure the borders. Also, you can configure the settings of the chart title and description. What is more important here is the Geo Settings tab, which is typical to only the Geo Chart type. So we check it. Here we can see the Keep Aspect Ratio feature. If this option is checked, the chart will be drawn at the largest size that can fit inside the chart area at its natural aspect ratio. Otherwise, the chart will be stretched to the exact size of the chart as specified by the width and height options. As we are done with the settings configuration of the chart, we can write the title of the chart, for example, Geo Chart. And we can save the changes. To see the chart on the front end, we copy the shortcode, then head to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. Then we give a title to our post, for example, Geo Chart. Then save the changes to see our chart on the front end. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. By hovering, we will see the country with its population. That's all. We can pass on to the next chart type. The next chart type we're going to discuss is the organization chart or an org chart. This chart type visually represents the structure of a company or organization. It shows the hierarchy of positions and how they relate to each other. For example, in a simple org chart, you might have the CEO at the top, followed by department heads, manager, and then individual employees. Let's create an organization chart together to see how it works. To create an org chart, we click on the Add New button and choose the org chart type, then click on the Next button. Here you can see the default org chart provided by the plugin. We need to give a title to our chart, for example, Org Chart. Then we can check the settings. On the first source tab, you can see import data from file, connect to Google Sheets, connect to database, and manual data options. These are the sources for you to display the data on a chart. As we have already discussed all these sources in the first part of the video for the line chart, we can skip this part and use the manual data source. Here we can specify the org chart ordering. The first person is Mike, who is the president. Jim is the vice president, so he is the child of Mike. Here we can add as many employees as we prefer. Here we can add child for Alice. For that, we click on the Add New Child. Then we need to change the name, for example, Charles. Change. And we click on a preview button. As you can see, the new child has been added. We can add one more, for example, Anne. Also, we can add a new child for Mike, for example, like this. And we can add a description, for example, head. We can also add an image. Here we need to click on a change button, then on a preview button. As you can see, a new child has been added with a description and an image. We can do the same for all the childs of the chart. Once we are done with the source tab, we can head to the settings tab. Here we can see general settings and live chart. Here you can give some settings related to the chart description, status, author of the chart, chart title, and chart description. Also, you can enable the live chart feature and specify the live chart interval. That means the time intervals to update the chart on the front end. Then we can head to the Styles tab where we can specify some settings related to the chart styling, like the width, position, height, background color, border width, etc. Here we can give some settings related to the chart title and chart description. What is important here is the org settings. This tab is exceptionally for the org chart. With the help of this tab, you can give a styling to the org chart. Here you can add a class name and write your desired custom CSS. Here we can add a background color, padding, border radius. We can change the text color and many more options. As you can see, I have already added images for all the org chart members. Also, I have changed the width and the height of the org chart so that the images with the members can fit here. As we are done with the settings configuration of our org chart, we can see the chart on the front end. For that, we copy the shortcode, then head to the posts, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. We can give a title to our post, for example, org chart, and see the chart on the front end. Here is our org chart displayed on the front end. As you can see, the company members are visualized in an engaging chart here, so it will be easier to determine who has what position in the office. So we can pass on to the next chart type. The next chart type we are going to discuss is the area chart. Area charts are used to display quantitative data over a continuous interval or time period. They are similar to line charts, but the area between the line and the axis is filled with color and shading. This is to emphasize the magnitude of change over time or across categories. Let's check how to enable the area chart with the Chart Builder plugin. For that, we go to the Charts page and click on the Add New button. Here we need to choose the area chart and click on the Next button. At first, we can give a title to our chart, for example, Area Chart. At first, we can see the sources. You can import data from file, or you can connect to Google Sheets, connect to database, or you can choose the manual data option. You can check the first part of the video for the line chart to see the explanation of all these sources. For the following chart, we will choose the manual data. Let's imagine we're checking the website traffic over a week. So here we can have the days of the week and here the number of visitors. Let's make the changes and see the results. Also here we can add another column to display the total traffic of the website. Now we need to click on a preview button to see the changes. As we are done with the Source tab, we can head to the Settings tab. We have already discussed both the Settings and the Styles tab for the line chart type, so you can check the first part of the video. As for now, you can see that the area chart has general settings, tooltip, legend, horizontal axis settings, vertical axis settings, chart animation, live chart, and front-end actions sections. Let's check the options quickly. Also, we can check the Styles tab. Here we can set some settings related to the chart width, height, font size, background color, border width, etc. Also, we can give some settings to the chart area. That means we can specify the margins, left, right, top, and bottoms. Here we can give some styling to the title of the chart and to the description of the chart. What is important here is the Area Settings tab. This tab is specific to only the area chart type. Here we can choose the focus target, single data or group data. Then we can specify the opacity, chart line width, and many other settings. Also here we can specify the styling for the series settings. Here we can set a color for each row by adding your desired color from the list. As we are done with the settings configuration of the chart, we copy the shortcode, then go to the post page, add a new post, and here we can add the shortcode into the block. Then we can give a title to our post, for example, Area Chart. And we can save the changes to see our chart on the front end. As you can see, you can export the chart data into CSV and Excel formats. Also, you can copy the data of the chart, you can print the data of the chart, and you can save the chart data as an image. For example, like this. As we are done with the area chart type as well, we can go further. The next advanced chart type we are going to discuss is the Gauge chart. Gauge charts are like the speedometer of a car. For example, if you have a goal to drink 8 glasses of water a day, a gauge chart could show you how many glasses you have had so far and whether you are on track to reach your goal or not. Using a gauge chart is a simple way to see if you are meeting your targets or not. To use this chart type, we go to the All Charts page and click on the Add New button. Then choose the Gauge chart type and click on the Next button. At first, we can give a title to our chart, for example, Gauge Chart. Then we can pass on to the sources. As you can see, you can import data from file, connect to Google Sheets and database, and you can choose the manual data option. Please note that we already discussed all these sources for the first part of the video for the line chart type. So you can check the first part of the video to see the explanation of each source. For this chart type, we will choose the manual data. For example, if we want to measure how many glasses of water we drink per day, we can use the gauge chart type. Here we need to write the days of the week and the number of glasses we drink. So we click on a preview button to see the changes on the chart. As we are done with the sources, we can go to the settings tab. We have already discussed the settings and the styles tab for the line chart for the first part of the video, so you can check the part. For now, you can see that here we can specify some general settings related to the chart, like chart description, the author of the chart, chart title, and chart status. Also, you can enable the live chart feature, and here you can specify the intervals. Then we can head to the styles tab. Here you can see some settings related to the chart styling, like width, height, position, background color, and some settings related to the border. Also, we can specify some styling for the chart title and the chart description. And we can head to the gauge settings tab, which is specific to only the gauge chart type. And here we can specify the number of minor tick sections in each major tick section. For example, like this. As we are done with the settings configuration of our chart, we can save our chart. Here we need to copy the shortcode of the chart to see it on the front end. We copy the shortcode, then head to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. And here we can see the changes on the front end. Here is our gauge chart displayed on the front end. As we are done with the gauge chart type as well, we can go on further with another chart type. The next advanced and engaging chart type is the combo chart. Combo charts are like having different tools in one toolbox. They let you show different kinds of information together on the same graph. For example, you can use a combo chart to show both how much money you have earned and how many products you have sold. Let's check the combo chart on a dashboard. For that, we head to the All Charts page and click on the Add New button. Then choose the combo chart and click on the Next button. Here you can see the sources you can use to display data on a chart. For example, importing data from file, connecting it to Google Sheets or database, or the manual data. You can see all the information related to the sources for the line chart type. And for this chart type particularly, we will choose the manual data. For this example particularly, we will discuss different factors, for example, temperature, speed of the wind, etc., on each month of the year. Here I have specified the months, temperature, humidity, and the wind speed. Please note that these are random numbers, just to showcase the use case of the chart. You can click on the preview button to see the changes on a chart. So we can head to the settings tab, and here we can see general settings, tooltip, legend, horizontal axis, vertical axis settings, chart animation, live chart, and front-end actions features. As we have already discussed all these sections for the line chart, you can check the first part of the video. For now, we can show you the view of the sections and the options they include. Then we can head to the Styles tab to assign some style settings to the chart. Here we can give some settings related to the width, for example, like this, height, font size, background color, and some settings related to the border. Also, we can add some settings to the chart area related to the margins, chart title, and chart description. What is most important here is the combo settings tab. This tab is related to only the combo chart type. Here we can choose the focus target, for example, single data or group data. We can choose the opacity. We can choose the chart line width, point shapes, point sizes, and some settings related to the chart. Here we can give some styling settings to the series and rows. We can give styling settings for each series, for example, temperature. Here we can choose the color and the type of the series. For example, it can be bar chart, it can be area or stepped area chart. Then we can save the chart to see the changes applied to it. As you can see, the temperature is displayed in a bar chart. Here is our chart. As you can see, each column is displayed in a different color. Let's check the chart on the front end. For that, we copy the shortcut of the chart, then head to the post page and add a new post. Here we need to insert the shortcut into the block and write the title of our post, for example, a combo chart. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. As you can see, you can export the data of the chart either in CSV or Excel file format. You can copy the chart data, you can print the chart data, and you can save the chart as an image, for example, like this. As we are done with this chart type as well, we can go on further with another chart type. The next chart type we are going to discuss is the stepped area chart. You can think of a stepped area chart as a staircase where each step represents a different value. The purpose of using a stepped area chart is to show changes in values over time or categories. For example, you can use the stepped area chart when you want to track the number of website visitors throughout the day. Let's check the chart on the dashboard. For that, we head to the charts page and add a new chart. Then we choose the stepped area chart and click on the next button. And we can check the sources. You can see that you can import data from file, connect the chart to Google Sheets and database, or you can choose the manual data source. We have already discussed all the sources for the line chart type in the first part of the video, so you can check it. In this particular case, we will learn how the population of the countries has changed throughout the time period. Let's fill in the columns and rows and see the changes on the chart. We need to click on a preview button to see the changes on a chart. As we are done with the sources, we can go to the settings tab. Please note that we have already discussed the settings tabs and the styles tabs for the line chart type. So you can check the first part of the video to find more information about the settings. We will just show you what options each section includes quickly. And the same for the styles tab. Here you can specify the chart width, for example like this. You can set a position for it, height, background color, and you can specify some settings related to border. Also, you can give some settings for the chart area, title, and description. And we go to the stepped area settings. Here you can choose how to focus your target by single data or group data. You can choose the chart line width, and you can give some settings to the series settings. For example, for population, we can change the color to this one, and for the year, we can set the color as it's now. So we save the changes. Here you can see the difference. With the last step, we need to show the chart on the front end, so we copy the shortcode, then head to the post page, add a new post, and insert our shortcode into the block. Here you can see our chart on the front end. As you can see, you can export the chart to CSV or Excel file formats. You can copy and print the chart data, or you can save the chart data as an image. The next chart type we are going to investigate is the bubble chart. Its purpose is to show 3 sets of data at once. For example, you are comparing countries based on 3 factors: population, GDP per capita, and land area. So we head to the All Charts page and add a new chart. Then choose the bubble chart and click on the next button. As you can see, there are 3 sources here. Either you can import the CSV file, or you can connect the chart to Google Sheets or to database by writing a query. We have already imported a CSV file with the necessary information. You can check the example of the CSV file format. As you can see, the file we imported includes information about life expectancy, fertility rate, region, and population. As we are done with this step, we can go to the Settings tab. Please note that we already discussed both the Settings and the Styles tabs for the line chart type, so you can check the first part of the video for more information. Here we will just show you what options each section includes: General Settings, Tooltip, Legend, Horizontal Axis Settings, Vertical Axis Settings, Chart Animation with its sub-options, and the Live Chart. And in the Styles tab, you can give some settings to the chart. For example, you can set a width for it. You can set a position, height, font size, background color. You can give some settings related to the border. You can give some settings related to the chart area, about the margins, title, and description. And what is important here is the bubble settings. The bubble settings tab is related to only the bubble chart type. Here you can specify the opacity of the chart, and you can choose multiple data selection. So we can save our chart to see the changes on the front end. We click on a Save button. As you can see, the shortcode has been generated, so we copy the shortcode. Then we head to the post page, add a new post, and insert our shortcode into the block. Here is our chart displayed on the front end, so we can go on further with another chart type. The next chart type offered by the Chart Builder plugin is the scatter chart. The purpose of this chart type is to show how 2 sets of data are related to each other. For example, imagine that you are comparing the height and the weight of students in a class. You will need to insert each student's height on one axis and the weight on another. Each point on a chart will represent one student, showing where they fall in terms of height and weight. So we head to the Charts page and click on the Add New button. Then we need to choose a scatter chart type and click on the Next button. At first, we will need to add a title to our chart, for example, Scatter Chart. Then, as you can see, there are 3 sources available for this chart type. The first one is import data from file, connect to Google Sheets, and connect to database. For now, we will import our file in CSV format. For that, we click on a Choose File button and choose the file. Then we click on a Save Data button and click on a Preview button. Then we can head to the Settings tab. You can find the detailed information about the Settings and Styles tabs for the line chart type, so you can check the first part of the video. We will just show you what options each section includes: Tooltip, Legend, Horizontal Axis Settings, Vertical Axis Settings. Then comes the Chart Animation, with a toggle, and live chart again with a toggle. Then we can head to the styles tab. Here you can add some styling to charts. For example, you can set a width for the chart, you can set a height for it, you can change the font size, you can add a background color, and you can give some settings for the border. Also, you can set some settings for the chart area related to the margins. Then you can customize the title and the description. Then we can head to the scatter settings tab. Here you can find settings that are connected to only the scatter chart type. So you can configure them based on your preferences. For example, we can change the point shape to triangle, for example. You can set the one that suits you best. And you can configure the other settings based on your preferences and the use case. With the last step, we need to show our chart on the front end, so we click on a Save button. Here you can see that a shortcode has been generated, so we copy the shortcode. Then head to the post page, add a new post. Here we need to insert the shortcode into the block and add a title, for example, scatter chart. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. So let's pass on to the discussion of the next chart type. Next advanced chart type we are going to discuss is the table chart. The purpose of the table chart is to present data in a structured format, making it easy to compare and analyze. Let's imagine you are comparing the prices of different items at a grocery store. You can create a table chart with columns for the item name, price, and quantity available. Let's check the table chart on the dashboard. For that, we head to the charts page and click on the Add New button. Here we need to choose the table chart and click on the Next button. Then, as you can see, for this chart type as well, there are three sources. Either you can import a CSV file, you can connect the chart to Google Sheets, or you can connect to database by writing a query. For this example, a CSV file is uploaded, and here you can see the data. Here in the chart you can see the name and the salary of the person and whether the person is a full-time employee or a part-time employee. You can upload your desired CSV file and create a chart that you prefer. Then we can head to the Settings tab. As you can see, for the table chart, you can have general settings, chart animation, live chart, and front-end action settings. As we have already discussed both the settings and the styles tabs for the line chart type, we will skip this part and we will just show you what options each section includes. This is the general settings, then comes the chart animation with its sub-options, then the live chart, and the front-end actions. We can tick them. For the styles tab, you can specify the width and the height of the chart, you can add your desired font size and background color for the chart, and you can have some settings related to the border. You can customize the chart title and the description. And we can head to the table settings tab, which is specific to only the table chart type. Here we need to specify an index of a column in a data table, that means by which the table is initially sorted. Also, we can tick this option to show the row number. As we are done with the settings configurations, we can save our chart. And as you can see, a shortcode has already been generated, so we copy the shortcode. Then we head to the post page, add a new post, and insert our shortcode into the block. Then we can give a title to our post, let it be table chart. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. As you can see, you can export the chart into the CSV and Excel file formats. Also, you can copy the chart data and print the chart data. As we are done with the table chart, we can go on further with the next chart type. So we have reached to another advanced chart type, that is the timeline chart type. A timeline chart is like a visual storybook that shows events in chronological order. The purpose of the timeline chart is to display a sequence of events over time. Let's imagine that, for example, you are creating a timeline chart for a startup. So, for example, you can have the following columns and rows for the chart. First, incorporation, product launch, funding rounds, expansion into new markets, acquisition, etc. Let's check the chart type on the dashboard. For that, we head to the charts, add a new chart, and here we need to choose the timeline and click on the next button. You can see the plugin offers 3 sources for this chart type. You can import a CSV file, you can connect the chart to Google Sheets and to database by writing a query. We have chosen the CSV file upload source and have uploaded a file. Here you can see statistics of these 2 people for the Washington. That means how long these 2 people served for Washington. You can add your desired CSV file in your desired topic and achieve the same result. As we are done with the sources, we can head to the settings tab where we can see general settings, chart animation and live chart sections. As we already discussed the options of the settings and styles tabs, we can just show you what options each section includes, just for your reference. Chart animation with its options and live chart with its sub-option. As for the styles tab, you can have different settings configurations for the chart. For example, you can specify the width of the chart, you can set a position, height for the chart, font size, background color, different settings related to border. You can customize the title of the chart and the description of the chart. As to the timeline settings, it is specific to only the timeline chart type. You can decide whether you want to show row labels or not. If you want to set the same color for all the bars, you can tick the single color option. Then choose your desired color. As we are done with the settings configuration of the timeline chart, we can see the chart on the front end. For that, we click on a Save button. Here the shortcode has been generated for the chart, so we copy the shortcode, then go to the post page, add a new post. Here we need to insert the shortcode into the block and give a title to our post. Let it be timeline chart. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. The next chart type offered by the Chart Builder plugin we're going to discuss is the Candlestick Chart. Candlestick charts are a type of financial chart used to represent the price movements within the time period. Each candlestick on a chart represents the price movement within a particular time frame, such as, for example, a day, week, or a month. For example, imagine that you are tracking the price of a stock over a day using a candlestick chart. Each candlestick represents 1 day of trading. For example, if the price of the stock opens at $50, reaches a high of $55, then you will have a chart showing the price range from $50 to $52. Let's check how the chart works on a dashboard. For that, we go to the charts page and add a new chart. Then we need to choose the candlestick chart and click on the next button. We can name our chart as Candlestick Chart, and here we can check the sources. Here you can choose 3 sources to display the data of the chart. Either you can import a CSV file, connect to Google Sheets, or connect to database and write your desired query. We have chosen the first source type and uploaded the CSV file. You can check the example here. Also, you can import your desired CSV file. The Settings tab includes several sections: General Settings, Tooltip, Legend, Horizontal and Vertical Axis Settings, Chart Animation and Live Chart. As we have discussed both the settings and the stats tabs for the line chart type in the first part of the video, you can check that part to see more information. For now, we will just open each section for your reference to see what options each section includes. General settings, tooltip, then comes the legend, horizontal axis, then comes the vertical axis settings, and chart animation with its sub-options, and the last one is the live chart with its sub-option. We can head to the styles tab, with the help of which we can assign different styling features for the chart. For example, we can specify the width and the height of the chart, the position, then comes the font size, background color, some settings related to the border. We can customize the chart title and chart description accordingly. As to the Candlestick settings tab, it is specific to only the Candlestick chart type. You can decide whether you want to focus target by single data or a group data. You can specify the bars width, for example like this. Then you can understand whether you want to enable multiple data selection or not. Once we are done with the settings configurations, we can save our chart. Here the shortcode is generated. We need to copy the shortcode, then head to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. Here you can see our chart displayed on the front end. The next advanced chart type we are going to discuss is the Gantt chart type. Gantt charts are a type of project management tools used to visualize and track the progress of tasks and activities within a project over time. For example, let's imagine you are planning a birthday party. You can create a Gantt chart to organize all the tasks involved and their respective deadlines. Each task, such as for example send out invitations, order cake, decorate venue, etc., will be represented by a bar on a chart. Let's check the chart type on the dashboard. For that, we head to the charts page, add a new chart, then scroll down a little bit and find a Gantt chart, then click on the next button. As you can see, again for this chart type as well, you can have three sources. Either you can import a CSV file, you can connect the data to Google Sheets, or connect to database and write your desired query. We have already uploaded a CSV file with the necessary information. You can add yours, or you can check the example attached here. As you can see, for example, to create bibliography, the person gives time from January 6 to January 7. So the duration of this task will be 1 day, and here is the percentage that is done. As we are done with the sources, we can head to the settings tab. Here you can see general settings and the live chart. With the general settings, you can add some settings like chart status, description. You can change the author of the chart. You can decide whether you want to show chart title and chart description or not. Also, you can enable the live chart feature with its sub-option. Then we head to the styles tab, with the help of which you can specify styles of the chart. For example, you can add a width for the chart like this. Then we can decide the position of the chart. We can add a height for it. Also, we can change the background color and give some settings for the border. Also, we can change the title of the chart and description. And we can go to the Gantt settings tab, which is typical to only the Gantt chart type. Here we will find the percent enabled feature. If we tick this option, then the taskbar will be filled based on the percentage completed for the task, like this. As we are done with the settings configuration, we can save our chart to see it on the front end. So we click on the save button, and here we copy the generated shortcode. Then head to the post page, add a new post, and insert the shortcode into the block. And here is the chart displayed on the front end. The next powerful chart type offered by the Chart Builder plugin is the Sankey Diagram. Sankey diagrams serve as a visual tool used to represent the flow of something, for example, the energy, resources, money, from one place or category to another. Let's check how the diagram works on a dashboard. For that, we head to the Charts page and click on the Add New button. Then scroll down a little bit and find the Sankey diagram, then click on the Next button. We can name our chart as Sankey diagram, and here we can see 3 sources you can use. You can import a CSV file with the data, you can connect the chart to Google Sheets or connect it to the database and write your desired query. We have already uploaded our desired CSV file with the information. You can check our example file format to see how it works. Then we can go to the Settings tab. Here we can notice general settings related to the chart, like chart description, the author of the chart. We can decide whether we want to show chart title and chart description or not. Here we can enable live chart feature if we want, and the data will be updated within the particular intervals on the front end. Then we can head to the Styles tab, where we can specify some stylings for the chart, like we can change the width of the chart, we can set a height for it, we can change the background color and add a transparent background if we want, we can change the borders, and also we can customize the chart title and chart description. And the last tab is the Sankey Settings tab, which is typical to only this chart type. Here we can change the link color, for example, like this. We can change the border color. As we have already configured all the settings, we click on the Save button. Then copy the generated shortcode and go to the post page, add a new post. Then we need to insert the shortcode into the blog and give a title to our post. For example, Sankey diagram. And here we can see our diagram displayed on the front end. So we can pass on to the next chart type. The next advanced chart type we are going to discuss is the Treemap. Treemap charts are a type of visual representation used to display hierarchical data in a nested rectangle layout. The purpose of a Treemap chart is to visualize the relative proportions of different categories within a larger dataset. For example, you are visualizing the budget allocation for a company. You can create a Treemap chart to represent the various departments and their respective budgets. Let's check the chart on the dashboard. For that, we head to the Charts page and click on the Add New button. Then scroll down a little bit and find the Treemap chart type and click on the Next button. Here you can see the sources for this chart type. You can either import a CSV file, connect to Google Sheets, or connect to database. We have chosen the first option and uploaded a CSV file. You can find the example attached here. Then we can head to the Settings tab. Here we can see general settings related to the chart, like the status of the chart. You can provide a short description about the chart. We can change the author of the chart, and we can decide whether we want to show the chart title and chart description or not. After that comes the Styles tab. Here we can find some settings related to the chart. We can choose whether we want to display the width by percentage or by pixels. We can set a position, height for the chart. Also, we can specify the font size. We can add our desired background color, border color, and some related settings to the border. Also, we can change the title and description. As to the Treemap settings, it is related to only the Treemap chart type. Here you can tick this option to show the scale bar. You can specify the min color and max color accordingly. As we are done with the settings configuration, we can save our chart. Then copy the shortcode and head to the post page, add a new post. Here we need to insert the shortcode into the block. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. The next chart type offered by the Chart Builder plugin is the word tree. A word tree is a chart type that shows how words are used within a body of text. The purpose of this chart type is to analyze and explore the frequency and context of specific words or phrases. Let's check how to enable this chart type on a dashboard. For that, we go to the Charts page and add a new chart. Then we scroll down to see a word tree chart type. Then we click on the Next button. As you can see, again, you have three sources here you can use. You can import a CSV file, you can connect the chart data to Google Sheets, or you can connect the chart data to database and write a query. We have already uploaded a CSV file, you can find an example here. Then we can go to the Settings tab, and here we can see some general settings related to the chart, like the status, description. You can change the author of the chart, you can decide whether you want to show the chart title and description or not. Also, if you want, you can enable the live chart feature, with the help of which the data will be updated within the particular intervals you specify here. Then comes the Styles tab, with the help of which you can give some styling to your chart. Here you can set a width by either percentage or pixels. You can set a position, height, font size, background color for the chart. You can somehow give settings for the border. You can configure the settings related to the border. Also, you can customize the title and description of the chart. As to the word tree settings, it is specific for only the word tree chart type. With the help of the maximum font size option, you can specify the upper limit for font size of displayed words. As we are done with the settings configuration, we can save our chart. We click on the Save button. Then we copy the generated shortcode and go to the Post page. Add a new post. Then insert the shortcode into the block. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. The last advanced and engaging chart type offered by the Chart Builder plugin is the 3D pie chart. The purpose of this chart type is to visually represent the proportions of different categories within a dataset in a three-dimensional format. Let's check the chart on the dashboard. For that, we go to the Charts page and click on the Add New button. Then we need to scroll down a little bit to see the 3D pie chart and click on the Next button. Then comes the sources. Here we can see that we have 4 sources to choose from. We can either import data from file, connect to Google Sheets or database, or we can create a chart with manual data. We have already discussed the sources, settings, and styles tabs for the line chart type, so you can check the first part of the video to find more information about this. For now, we will choose the manual data, and we can take the example the plugin offers. Here you can see the countries and the population accordingly. The numbers are chosen randomly, so they are not precise numbers. Then we can head to the Settings tab. Here we can see some general settings related to the chart, like chart status. You can write a description, you can change the author of the chart, then you can show whether you want to display chart title and chart description or not. You can enable interactivity for the chart. Here you can specify the tooltip settings, then you can specify the legend settings and live chart settings with its sub-option. So we untick this option as we don't need it for this chart type and go to the Styles tab. Here we can give some stylings for the chart. Here we can choose whether we want to display the width by pixels or by percentage. We can set a height, font size, background color for the chart. We can also configure the border settings. We can configure the settings of the chart area and set margins for it. Also, we can customize the chart title and chart description based on our preferences. Then comes the 3D pie settings tab. This tab is specific to only the 3D pie chart type. Here we can specify the chart rotation degree, for example, like this. We can reverse the categories. We can choose the slice tags to be displayed whether by percentage, quantitative value, name, or we can disable it. We will choose the percentage. And you can configure the other settings based on your preferences. Also here we can customize the slices settings, and we can add color for each slice of the 3D pie chart. As we are done with the settings configuration of our chart, we can save it. As you can see, the shortcode has already been generated, so we copy the shortcode, then go to the post page, add a new post, and here we need to insert the shortcode into the block and name our post. Let it be 3D pie chart. Here is our chart displayed on the front end. So in this video tutorial, we discussed all the chart types offered by the WordPress Chart Builder plugin. As you can see, the plugin offers a great variety of chart types you can use on your WordPress website. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for more informative videos. Bye!